Welcome to the Femafricmaths channel. Today we are excited about our interview. As we promised, we are taking you on a journey across Africa, and today we have the first from a Southern African country, and
she's also the first female to receive a PhD in mathematics for her country.
So we are really excited about it to share a story with you. So welcome to our channel, Kgomotso, and we'd like you to start by introducing yourself and your journey from secondary school to where you are now.
Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Kgomotso Morupisi. I'm a Botswana, a first female actually Botswana to obtain her PhD in mathematics. Yeah, there are others in other fields, but in mathematics, I'm the first female Botswana to get a PhD in mathematics. I started my love for science subjects in my secondary school. In Botswana, we have two-tier secondary school level. We have what we call junior secondary school and senior secondary school. During my time, the junior secondary school was for 2 years, but now it's 3 years. But during my time, it was 2 years. And then senior secondary school was for 3 years. So during that period, I was taught mostly by, I would call them foreigners, because they were not Botswana. I was taught only Setswana language by Botswana, but the rest were not people from Botswana. So that's where now I started to develop that love for the sciences, because the people who taught us, more especially those who taught me mathematics, were people from the UK. They were from UK. They were those white old men that taught us. So they made me to have that love for mathematics and even for the sciences. And when I got to senior secondary school, I was torn between mathematics and physics, because those were the two that I loved most from all the sciences. Yes, I had some love to an extent of chemistry, but biology, I hated reading a lot. So I knew that I had to pass it, but I did not have that love for that science, honestly. So when I got to the university now, my first year at University of Botswana, that's where now my love for maths was cemented. Maths won over physics now at that point. So I drifted now to do my Bachelor of Science in Mathematics Education. Actually, the program was called Bachelor of Education Science Mathematics. Yeah. So I did my maths modules as well as the education module, because I wanted to go for teaching. Yeah. So then after I finished my bachelor in education science, I did my master's in mathematics again at UB, where I got my MSc mathematics. And by then I was teaching as well. So I was doing my master's in science mathematics as a part-time yeah. So then I continued with my teaching and then progressed from there now to teaching secondary school, then where I was upgraded to go and teach in a College of Educations, and then eventually I got a position in a university as a teaching instructor. So teaching instructor is someone who is a lower level to a lecturer. You assist the lecturer. Yeah. So you work hand in hand with the lecturer. It's kind of developmental post in my university. So after that, then I got my admission to go and study abroad in UK, University of Bath, to go and do my PhD in mathematics, applied mathematics, industrial applied mathematics, actually. So that is the field that I'm in. Yeah.
Very interesting. So just a bit of background. So I met Kgomotso through your PhD supervisor, Professor Chris Bad, who introduced us, and I'm from University of Bath, and I'm so happy to have you here. So thanks for sharing your journey with us. So I can see you came, like you said, you came from the background of teaching. So what is your motivation for teaching? At the university, you still teach, but of course at another level. We call it lecturing. So what is your motivation for teaching at all these levels?
I do love teaching. I love sharing information with others, and I love having impact in other people's life, because through education, that's where we can get change and we can have development that we need in our own country. So I love teaching because by then mathematics was, we still lacked a lot. Botswana teachers of Botswana mathematics teachers. So it was like kind of mostly taught by people from foreign people here. So then it made me, to opt to have that, to go along that route, to make a contribution in my country, have an impact in my country through teaching mathematics. Yeah. Because like I said, the man who taught me maths, he was called the one who taught me in senior secondary school. He was called Mr. Lockett. So Mr. Lockett made me, love that, love maths, and the way he taught also, he made me, to develop that interest of teaching as well. Yeah, that's why.
You teach, and you wanted to see your own someone from your country with your skin. Yes, teaching a mathematics course. That's very interesting. But that leads me to my next question. So you mentioned one of your teachers, Mr. Lockhead. So do you have any mentors or people who have inspired and encouraged you on your journey? We would like to hear about them and the influence they've had on you.
You've been as a Botswana one, so
general.
Okay, I had Mr. Lockett, like I said, in senior secondary school, and Mr. Hinch. Mr. Hinch was my additional maths teacher. Mr. Lockett was my maths teacher. So when I got to the university now, I got people like Professor Stis. So there was this old man called Professor Stis. So Professor Stis is the one who made me to develop that love for applied mathematics. Yeah. So he made me develop that love for applied mathematics.
Oh, so that made you apply for a PhD in that, right?
Yeah, because I did my master's project with him. So then I was like, oh, okay, that means that I can use maths for this and this. And, that's why now, I kind of, developed love for applied mathematics to see that this maths can be used even in real life situations to try and solve or tackle some problems that we encounter in our everyday activities or everyday life. So that's why I opted for applied maths. So then when I got to Bath, my supervisor, Chris Bad, and second supervisor, Paul Milewski, those two, they kind of cemented my love for applied mathematics, the industrial part of it, the industrial, working with people from industry. And my program there also kind of, because we were given that chance to work with people from industry to formulate problems from there and, try to solve the problems that they had through maths modeling and everything. So it kind of cemented my love for the industrial applied mathematics.
Wow, very interesting. So you've mentioned from different levels, from secondary school, from the university, and also for your PhD, people who have motivated you. But we also want our guests to be people who are also influencing society. So you have been the first PhD in mathematics from Botswana. And very often when people are the first, sometimes people like to enjoy privileges. You don't want to see anyone else in your space. You want to be the first and only, but that shouldn't be the case, right? You should also be influencing, guiding the next generation of people. So we'd like to find out what approaches you've been taking to directly influence the choices of especially girls to take up mathematics careers, either at the university or in industry. So are there any things you are doing? Are there any mentees you have who would be the next generation of female mathematicians from Botswana?
Yeah, I'm lucky to be working with people that has been my classmates at University of Botswana. you know that I think this is a situation that is common across all African countries, where your male counterparts will progress faster than you females. So from our group, though there was a number of us female in that class, I am the first one to get a PhD, even before the ones who graduated before me. So I have my male counterparts in working in the same university. One of them is even my head of department. So he was my classmate, but he's still head of my department. So they are too helpful in helping me to assist and to have my contribution in the society, because when I arrived, because I finished my PhD last year March, just before Corona. So that's where I got my PhD. So when I arrived, the head of department, he sat me down and asked me, what is it that you want to do that we can assist you with? Because we are in different areas or different fields of mathematics. Yeah, he is a pure mathematician. I am in applied mathematics here. So then I told him that I in Bath there is what is called they have outreach programs for juniors, secondary students, and senior secondary students. So I think we can make our contribution from there by assisting those teachers, for our students. Because the other thing that I also observe is that most of our students are not that grounded in mathematics. It's like there is something lacking. So then we decided as a department to have this outreach program, which I'm part of, to contribute to our society, to help in developing our students in Botswana. And then also, and in a personal matter or personal note, there are those people, there are two girls actually, they're both girls, who did not do well in mathematics last year, Botswana final year examinations. And I decided to take them on and tutor them because I believe they can do wonders for this country. It's only that they didn't have enough background in maths to help them pass. So those are the two things that I'm doing to help Botswana female and also male students to improve in their mathematics. Yeah.
Wow, that's great. So you don't want to just be in the space, but you are also directly influencing the teaching of mathematics, even at the secondary school level and even upwards.
Yes.
So we would like to find out some challenges you faced. Have you faced any challenges along your journey? It could be cultural, it could be mathematical. What challenges have you faced on your journey? And how did you overcome those challenges? What challenges did you face?
Oh, I faced a number of challenges. Being a female, you always encounter challenges where you least expect them. As a female, that you'll get married at one point. And when you get married, people tend to think that when you are married, that means that now you are good for the kitchen and you have to abandon every interest that you have in academics and everything. So, like I said, that I did my master's as part-time. I did it with my peers who were doing full-time because I had kids to feed. And at the same time, it was during the time that my mother also got, she lost her job. So being a single parent, I being the eldest, I had to assist. So, I had to work at the same time also, do my master's, So afterwards, then I struggled to get the sponsorship to go and do my PhD. So I struggled for a number of years, actually, while my peers were, it's not that I didn't apply, I applied, but I never got any response. So I don't know what was happening behind closed doors in all those those organizations. I don't know, but I eventually ended up being employed in BUST and then applying for my PhD, and I easily got the sponsorship then through my university. Yeah. But the challenges that I got is only because of marriage, being a wife, and being a mother and also being the eldest daughter in the eldest child in the family, that everyone is looking up to, you know, to provide, to assist and everything. But at work, I wouldn't say that there was, at my current university, I didn't say that there was any challenges. No, they were all helpful, you know, all the male, because I think it's because most of them were my former classmates. So they knew my potential and my capabilities. So yeah, so they just motivated me to to go for my further training. Yeah.
It's very important to be in an environment where people are very supportive, right? People encourage you, people believe in you, and I'm glad you are in such an environment. So moving to our next question. So you studied in Botswana up to your master's level, then you went to the UK to back for your PhD. I've had a similar experience of doing my master's in Ghana and moving to the UK for my PhD. But the transition there, there's sometimes a gap, right? What were some of the things you wish you had known, you had learned before you went to the UK? Maybe some skills, right? You are an applied mathematician, right? So I'm sure you do a lot of programming for your modeling. What skills? So if someone is watching us and is in Botswana or is anywhere in Africa doing a master's, what skills do you think they need to develop now so that when they travel for their PhD in applied mathematics, it will be a little easier?
Oh, in Botswana, mostly the learning maths is through pen and paper. the old natural way. When I got to UK, I observed that, you know, there they teach you maths through pen, paper, and programming. So when I got there, they asked me, what is your level in this programming language? And I MATLAB, and I told them 0. I wanted to be, you know, to be honest. I told them that I have 0. I have never used MATLAB, but during my time when I was writing my project for masters, I used Mathematica. But I wouldn't say that I am at any higher level of programming. No. So then I had to work hard. People, were relaxed. I had to work hard to improve my programming skills for me to be able to continue with my studies there. I think in Botswana, we need to introduce the programming from first year, because that's what I observed they do in the UK. But I have already started selling that. I have already sold that idea to my department, and they think that is something that is doable, that we can start maybe from third year and fourth year, then gradually we'll go down. Yeah. So,
wow. Yeah, so that's interesting. I think that's the story for most of us Africans, right? Like you said, at the university, I also didn't learn any programming language at the university. So when you go there and you realize, okay, you need for a PhD, you need quite a level, right? Not even beginners, right? Quite a level. But I think with a lot of hard work, determination, and support, you are able to go through. Okay,
yeah,
so
and people in UK, my supervisors, they were very supportive, because I would just send them an email that, oh, I'm stuck. Can you assist me in this during the weekend? And they would just say, oh, come to school, and then they will make sure that they come. I had a very good support, at Bath, honestly. So that's why I managed to improve, in a short period of time, and be able to do what was expected of me. Yeah.
Exactly. And I like the fact that you are also doing similar, right, with the 2 girls that you are helping to pass their exams, right? Sometimes all you need is that extra or even that dedicated time for someone to have a one-on-one meeting with you to explain. So I'm very happy about that. So along these lines, we would like to find out about your project. What do you do? So you've mentioned PhD in industrial, you used to work with industry. So tell us a summary of what your research is in. We'd like to know what you do for your research.
Okay. The research that I did, my research project was on climate models. I was working on a climate model, analyzing and studying a climate model. Yeah. So, but in Bath, it's not only that you focus only on your research topic. you are also asked or expected to go for what they call them the study groups. So there are different types of study groups. There was agricultural study groups. There was also industrial study groups. It was the European thing, European Industrial Study Group. And then there was also, Bath itself had what they called the integrated think tanks. So it's also another study group, but of a different nature from this other two. So in this, in the integrated think tanks, they called it the ITT. So the people from industry, they will come with their problems, and then they will present to us, and then we will formulate the problems. It can be a master's problem, it can be a PhD problem from what they have already given us. So I worked on those. So I worked on in the ITT. There was one point where there was the GK and Airbus company. They wanted us to come up with a model to help them in cracks in the aircraft wings, because what they said was that you cannot use your naked eye to see those cracks. So we have to formulate the model to that lower scale to model the cracks in the aircraft. And also there was another problem that I worked on in another ITT, where now it was a pharmaceutical company that wanted us to work on to come up again with a model that will ensure that there is even spread of coloring of pills. You know that the pills are being coated. So for them to be evenly coated. Apparently, if they are not evenly coated, that means that you cannot sell them. So yeah. So and then I worked on the in the agricultural study group. I worked on a problem from cocoa production. It was a Mondelez company of Mondelez company, the chocolate company. Yeah, so we looked at the cocoa production in Ghana. So yeah, and then I also worked on the European study group. I worked on the insurance company problem where there were two cars which collided, and they wanted to know who is at fault, because they are paying the one who is not at fault. So we had to come up with a model to simulate the collision and everything, and what follows after collision, for them to be able to know who was at fault. So it's a number of problems that I worked on, but I chose to work in climate models because I'm interested in. I'm a farmer, though a small scale one. My husband is a farmer, so I'm interested in climate change and in the effects of climate change in Botswana and Africa as a whole. So that's why I chose to work on climate model. To study the climate model and understand a number of things about climate dynamics and climate change. Yeah.
Wow, that's very extensive, right? From insurance to cars colliding to pharmaceutical, wow, to climate, wow. Thanks for sharing with us. But we'll be ending very shortly. But before we do, so you've had the chance to work. You are still working in the educational sector. So if you had the chance to change something, or if there's what are there things you are doing to change how teaching and learning of mathematics is done in your country? If there is, we'd like to know. If not, do you have plans of doing things to improve the learning and teaching of mathematics?
Yeah, in Botswana, they are trying by all means to change the way teaching and learning is happening. Yeah, we have been in my university. We have been in a workshop from Monday, where we were being workshopped on problem-based learning. So I didn't know about that approach. I knew about problem-solving approach, but not problem-based learning. Being a teacher, yeah. So I think this problem-based learning is a good way of me maybe introducing it maybe in initial stages in the tutorials for our students to better understand maths. Because I have observed that if you don't understand the concepts, there is no how you can grow. You cannot even do your masters, because what can you do if you don't understand the concepts? So the students, I think they have to, we have to use this problem-based learning for them to be cemented, to understand maths fully, maths concepts fully, for them to be able to implement or use them in future. Yeah, because people tend to think that mathematics it's just for classes and that's the end of it. They don't know that you are applying maths in your everyday life, in almost everything. And also for those who go for engineering, for you to be a good engineer, you need to have good maths background, Yeah.
Wow, thanks very much, Kgomotso. So before we go, so we let our guests sign off with a message to a young Botswanan girl watching you. So think of your younger self. What would you have said to inspire a younger person? Growing up, you didn't see a female with a PhD in your environment, but you have aspired to get a PhD in mathematics. What would you say to them? I know there are challenges, economy-wise, education-wise, there's a lot of challenges, but what would be your encouragement to them if they have dreams of doing similar things that you do? What would you say to encourage or inspire them?
I would say that they should never give up. In life has taught me that, whatever you dream, that is your God's purpose, because I have always dreamt to have my PhD in mathematics. No matter the challenges that I passed through while I was a teacher, I had to wait a number of years before I can get any sponsorship. I always knew that, one day I will have my PhD in mathematics and I will be teaching, I will be now a lecturer somewhere, So I have to tell this female, especially females, because for males, they don't have any problem, For them, there is no challenge, I would say. But females, we tend to give up quite easily. I don't know why. So they should, they should make sure that they push forward, regardless of the challenges that they encounter. They should make sure that they always look towards what they have already dreamt of. They will achieve it. If I could make it, they can also make it. So it's not only for a chosen few, it's for everyone who has focus on what they want to be. Yeah.
Wow. So keep your focus and never give up. Don't let the challenges deter you from achieving that goal. Let your eye be on the goal and
be on the ball. Yeah.
Yes, on the goal. Yeah. Thank you very much, Kgomotso, for coming to for this interview, and we look forward to sharing your story with the world. Thank you. Bye.